We do have a great sponsor. It is Home Title Lock. My friends, go to HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code TIM. That's HomeTitleLock.com. Promo code. You want to pull that up, Serge? And let's get it. If you're a homeowner, you got to hear this. Today's AI and cyber world, we're just talking about that. Scammers are stealing home titles, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee with your county, and just like that, your home title has been transferred out of your name. Then they take out loans against loans using your equity or even sell your property, and you won't even know it happened until you get a collection or foreclosure notice. So when's the last time you guys checked your home title? If your answer is never, then maybe you should consider looking into that. This is why we're working with Home Title Lock. We're proud to have them sponsor the show. So you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use promo code TIM at HomeTitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Once again, it's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code TIM. The craziest thing is, I was looking into this because I was like, wow, that's like kind of freaky. It has been skyrocketing. This is like one of the go-to frauds been happening for in the past several years. So thank you, Home Title Lock. Shout out. From the New York Post. Read the documents that prove Hillary Clinton okayed plan to smear Trump with Russia collusion. This is from the New York Post, published today. They break down this annex. This is crazy stuff. Hillary Clinton and Obama were in on this scheme to smear Trump as a Russian asset, claiming that Russians hacked it or that Trump was colluding with them or something like that, which didn't just affect the campaign, but went into his presidency, resulting in a multi-year-long investigation that cost tens of millions of dollars. Take a look. Hillary Clinton signed off on a plan hatched by a top campaign advisor to smear then-candidate Trump with false claims of Russian collusion and distract from her own mounting email scandal during the 2016 campaign, according to explosive intelligence files declassified Thursday. The 24-page intelligence annex was compiled from memos and emails obtained by the Obama administration in the lead-up to Election Day that laid out confidential conversations between leaders of the Democratic National Committee, including then-Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and liberal billionaire George Soros's Open Society Foundations. Can you believe this? The plot, the brainchild of the Clinton campaign's then foreign policy advisor, Julianne Smith, included, quote, raising the theme of Putin's support for Trump and subsequently steering public opinion toward the notion that it needs to equate the Russian leader's political influence campaign with actual hacking of election infrastructure. They say Smith would go on to serve as former President Joe Biden's ambassador to NATO. Quote, I don't have any comment, she told the Post when they phoned her on Thursday. Now, I want to scroll down. There's a little bit more. They show some documents. In one document, it says Obama has no intention to darken the final part of his presidency and legacy by the scandal surrounding the main contender for the DP. To solve the problem, the president puts pressure on FBI Director James Comey through Attorney General Lynch. However, so far, without concrete results. That is to say, Obama knew Hillary Clinton was scandal-ridden. She had a private server. This was illegal. They were refusing to prosecute. She had the server destroyed, phones smashed with hammers. And Obama was like, this is going to make me look bad if I do anything to intervene. So he leans on the FBI and says, you take care of it. And what happens? The FBI says, we will not bring charges against Hillary Clinton for the crimes she has committed. Shockingly insane. They go on to say Durham consulted the FBI and CIA, both of which assessed the information was likely authentic, but couldn't corroborate exact copies of the Bernardo emails with Open Society Foundations. The CIA also determined that the intelligence was not the product of Russian fabrications. Smith was at minimum playing a role in the Clinton campaign's effort to tie Trump to Russia, Durham concluded. Now I'm going to scroll down here. Page 7. This is where it gets interesting. Let me read you this paragraph. This is from the Durham Annex. According to data from the election campaign headquarters of Hillary Clinton, obtained via the U.S. Soros Foundation, on the 26th of July, 2016, Clinton approved a plan of her policy advisor, Juliana Smith, from the TS, NAB, TS is an unknown acronym, to smear Donald Trump by magnifying the scandal tied to the intrusion by the Russian special services in the pre-election process to benefit the Republican candidate. As envisioned by Smith, raising the theme of Putin's support for Trump to the level of the Olympics scandal would divert the constituents' attention from the investigation of Clinton's compromised electronic correspondence. In addition, by subsequently steering public opinion towards the notion that it needs to equate Putin's efforts to influence political processes in the U.S. via cyberspace to acts against a crucially important infrastructure, would force the White House to use more confrontational scenarios vis-a-vis Moscow that as a whole suits Clinton's line of conduct. A relatively sluggish reaction by the administration to the events surrounding the DNC that led to the resignation of Chairman Deborah Wasserman Schultz provoked exasperation within the PC, possibly a political convention, and the entire deep state, which may also be used by Clinton to reinforce her position among the security service agents. To simplify, Clinton's campaign wanted to get the bad press off of her and shift the focus to Trump, and they knew that making this scandal bigger would force the Obama administration to target Trump with actual law enforcement capabilities. And then we got years of Trump being accused of being a traitor to this country, secretly working with the Russians the whole time because Obama didn't want to get his hands dirty, ordering the release of information they knew to be false. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, the more that comes out, the more shockingly insane we learn this story to be. And I guess the question then is for everybody watching, will anybody get arrested?
No, it's nothing ever changes, gang, over here.
That's like why it's not shocking is we just keep finding out that we were right in our hunches and our conspiracy theories, and the truth eventually does come out, and I guess that's a happening, but nothing changes as a result.
Do you see this leading to some type of prosecution?
You know,
or even grand jury?
Maybe. And I'll say this. Trump got arrested. You know, they arrested Donald Trump several times. They arrested his lawyers. So maybe they might actually go after Obama or Comey. I mean, they said they're investigating them. And the question is, does Trump have the willpower and does Trump want revenge? Or is this just big one puppet show to keep us distracted as they do a bunch of other weird stuff around the world? And, you know.
And who ends up with the better mugshot, Trump or Obama?
It depends on what you mean by better.
Well, Trump got to hang his on the White House wall, so I'd say it's tough to top that.
That is crazy. That's
right
not
in the Oval Office.
But that's not. Oh, did he hang the actual mugshot?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I went to the White House not that long ago, and the picture that Trump got, his presidential photograph, just looks identical to the mugshot. And I'm like, I think he did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
They gave him trace paper and just had him trace over
The
it.
dramatic lighting and that like raised eyebrow, stern.
He also looks thinner than he looks thinner in that photo than he actually is.
He's 220 pounds.
What did you say? Did you call it a svelte 220?
Svelte 220 pounds, mind you.
Firm. I want to show you guys this. We've got a video. This is from 2016. Listen to this.
According to the Washington Post, the CIA has concluded that Russia intervened in the election to help you win the presidency. Your reaction?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just another excuse. I don't believe it. I don't know why. And I think it's just, they talked about all sorts of things. Every week it's another excuse. We had a massive landslide victory, as you know, in the Electoral College. I guess the final numbers are now at 306, and she, down to a very low number. No, I don't believe that at all.
You say you don't know why. Do you think that the CIA is trying to overturn the results of the election or somehow to weaken you in office?
Well, if you look at the story and you take a look at what they said, there's great confusion. Nobody really knows. And hacking is very interesting. Once they hack, if you don't catch them in the act, you're not going to catch them. They have no idea if it's Russia or China or somebody. It could be somebody sitting in a bed someplace. I mean, they have no idea.
So why would the CIA put out this story that the Russians wanted you to win?
Well, I'm not sure they put it out. I think the Democrats are putting it out because they suffered one of the greatest defeats in the history of politics in this country. And frankly, I think they're putting it out, and it's ridiculous. We ought to get back to making America great again, which is what we're going to do. And we've already started the process.
I love how he says, to Trump, the CIA doing something wrong, that's a completely incredulous idea. The fact that
at the time, it was a new idea. And I don't know where this falls on the timeline, this, news hit. But I'm just reminded of the big mic drop moment in that second presidential debate in 2016 between Trump and Hillary, where he says, maybe some would say tongue in cheek, like, you'd be in jail if I were in power, if I were, in office, you would face criminal consequences for your private email servers while Secretary of State. And it was like this big, like, oh, like he really just said that. But then he got into office and like that didn't happen. And she didn't get arrested the first time for the same reason that she's not going to get arrested now. Now there's evidence too for the same reason that there is a little handshake between Trump and the deep state about the Epstein files now.
So what's the point of all of this declassification and the release if they don't intend to actually go after anybody?
I mean, just declassify all the other shit so that people stop asking about Epstein, I guess.
Distraction.
Yeah.
Keep the base happy.
This is a woman who did her dissertation on rules for radicals, and yet there are people at my company who still will refuse to believe that, she had any part in this. No matter what you show them, they would, swear to you that Santa Claus is real before they would possibly believe that Hillary Clinton could do something wrong. So I don't think there's, anything's going to come of this.
Well, I still don't believe
I don't disagree.
Pizzagate is debunked.
But look at that video with who was that? Stephanopoulos? I can't remember who this guy was. Is he still on TV?
On Fox?
No,
Matthews? Is that Matthews there?
No, this guy, George Stephanopoulos.
That's Matthews in this video.
That's
Chris Matthews.
That's Chris Matthews, man.
Yes.
You're right, man. I don't know who these guys are. They're ancient.
They do look alike, though.
Right, Chris Matthews. Okay, they as Brett brought up the shock. But what do you mean the CIA did something wrong? Not them. No, never.
I mean, even if we want to go back more
Innocent
recently,
agency.
NSA spying scandal was like 3 years before this.
I'm tweeting that.
The Gulf of Tonga.
Yeah, oh my goodness! As if Hollywood hasn't been making movies about all the awful things the CIA has been doing for the last 20 years.
The CIA is like, who little of me?
Yeah, they're like this. And I think to your point, I think you're right. Like the issue here is that it doesn't actually matter what the truth is because 10 gazillion people ran with the Russiagate
It's
hoax.
Chris Wallace.
And
I was gonna say, I don't know where Matthews.
Nobody
Wallace.
knows.
Chris Wallace.
I don't know who
Okay,
these guys
there you
are,
go. Chris
man.
Wallace.
Chris Wallace.
Fox Host 1, Fox Host 2.
This was like ages ago. Like
One of those guys.
But the point is like the damage is done. They did the reporting. They claimed that he was colluding with Russia, and the worst person you know and your highly liberal aunt all believe it. And they ruined a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships running something that they knew was a lie. And like you said, there are plenty of people, even if you're not talking just about what they think about Trump, they could not imagine a world where Hillary Clinton was evil, despite the fact that the rest of the world knows that she's pretty evil.
And I want to just make sure I include this other document. This is the 2020 ICA, which says, acting on President Obama's orders, DCIA Brennan directed a full review and publication of raw human intelligence information that had been collected before the election. CIA officers said that some of this information had been held on the orders of DCIA, while other reporting had been judged by experienced CIA officers to have not met long-standing publication standards. Some of the latter was unclear or from unknown subsources, but would nonetheless be published after the election over the objections of veteran officers on the orders of DCIA and cited in the ICA to support the claims that Putin aspired to help Trump win. It was all one big scam, and it was Obama and Hillary. And I'm going to say it again, as I said before, I think likely what was going on is the Clinton Foundation was taking hundreds of millions of dollars. I wonder where that money was coming from. When Hillary Clinton lost the election, the money stopped coming in. So the presumption many people make is that her private server was how they communicated for this illicit transfer of funds of U.S. government policy, private bribery, you can call it. And then when they said, we want to see the server, Hillary Clinton had it destroyed. Yeah. Irretrievable. And phones smashed with hammers. I think they went after Trump because they were like, we're in trouble. He's gonna start going after this stuff. This is what they do. They have to go after Trump first, so that if Trump responds in any way, they'll say, see, Trump is only doing this because we did this. Now take a look at the Epstein story. People keep saying that Donald Trump is distracting from Epstein, despite the fact the Obama Russiagate releases have been coming out well before the Epstein story came to prominence. Don't get me wrong, Pam Bondi, the DOJ, they've been screwing this one up royally, and Trump is acting real weird about it. I'll give you that. But he's not distracting from it because these documents were getting released, and the conversation was happening well before the Epstein stuff happened.
Obama has one thing going for him. There's no photos of him and Epstein.
Yeah, that's good for him.
Yeah, he's got that going for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of other people like Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Bill Clinton. You think Hillary went too with Bill?
Wait, was there ever actually that picture of Bill in the dress at Little St. James? There you go.
That's real.
Maybe Hillary bought that and brought it home.
Wait, a photograph or an illustration?
Painting.
Oh, I
Painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress.
see. Yeah.
It's weird.
But there were just all of these cameras there for no reason.
The one that Epstein had in his apartment, famously, correct?
It was on his island.
On his island.
Yeah, he also had George W. Bush with two little towers, and he was throwing paper airplanes at him. So the 9/11 truth movement went that proves it. Epstein and the two towers or whatever. Can I pull these up?
Oh, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah.
George.
It's such a disgrace, and it's so obvious. It doesn't even need to be said. But people are still denying reality.
Wait, which part?
The whole. It's not even a mishandling of the Epstein files situation. It's very intentional what they're doing, and I feel it malicious.
George W. Bush with two paper airplanes and two toppled Jenga towers.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in Epstein's island. That's creepy.
That is really creepy.
Yup. Oh, look at this. I got the Bill Clinton in the blue dress. Let's pull this one up. Let's disturb the audience.
That is so wild. This is my first time seeing the other one.
Do we think Monica Lewinsky worked for Mossad?
No. Why?
I've heard that.
I mean, she
Bro, at
just
this point,
started.
Chuck E. Cheese works for Mossad.
Or at the very least that she worked for some intelligence agency and
Why?
and purposefully was gathering blackmail on him.
Why?
But it came out, right? So it doesn't really matter. Wouldn't the whole point be that it doesn't come out? That she gathers the intel or uses her feminine wiles to blackmail him, and then the whole point is to keep it out of the public, not have it leak to the public?
Yeah, I don't think she's smart enough.
Well, then Mossad needs to change their hiring practices if that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It does kind of show you this Orwellian society that we're living in, though, when you think of people like Saul Alinsky, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and just the lack of general information that people have about who these individuals are and this power apparatus that exists behind the...
And the Soros Foundation was involved. They were communicating over this stuff, which is weird. Yeah. Weird. And everybody who brought up Soros was called a conspiracy theorist. Yeah. I'll tell you guys, you want something interesting? When we first booked Mike Benz, who's been calling out USAID and all this stuff for a long time, I got spam blasted by weird liberals telling me that I shouldn't have him on the show. And I'm like, what? Why are you DMing me, bro? This is weird. They were panicked and desperate that we would not bring Mike on the show.
He comes with endless receipts.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
It is funny that you mentioned it too, that you said that Hillary Clinton, she did her dissertation on rules for radicals. And what he mentioned was that they started accusing Trump of all of this stuff because it dirties him up so that they can't have accusations thrown back at them, which is right out of the playbook. From
right out of the playbook. That's why I brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very depressing, and it is true also that we live in an age now as the internet becomes more prevalent that it's your parents and your grandparents that have this kind of a higher definition of what a politician might be because they were fed years of propaganda from mainstream media outlets, depending on whether they were left or right, whether it was Fox telling you that Democrats were evil or CNN telling you that Republicans were evil, and the rest of us who have moved on to greener pastures getting their information from other places or just have any level of common sense, understand that pretty much all politicians are awful on some level.
Yeah, it's basically Democrats and Republicans for me is tantamount to, Santa Claus and Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.